about where you thought a player was, and then you saw what they looked like come spring? Who do you think had the biggest jump?
I think the biggest surprise to me, not necessarily jump from a talent standpoint or improvement, but the biggest surprise to me is where Kamal Hadden is right now.
Hmm.
I was not sure Kamal Hadden would even be a part of this program. I wasn't sure kind of where he was mentally. Obviously, he had a interesting season last season, and has a hard time controlling his emotions on the field. And I kind of thought, you know what, they're bringing in these new corners. They bring in the transfer, Gabe Judy Lawley, and you're thinking, okay, somebody's got to go somewhere, right? It's just,
Mm.
it's inevitable. Maybe he's a guy to keep an eye on. We'll see how he handles new competition and how that works for him. And he comes out of spring as arguably their best corner,
Mm.
as a starter. And that's not a prediction I would have made going into spring practice or in January or February. So he would be my one on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, I would have told you Ethan Davis, even though he's a freshman, Ethan Davis wasn't going to play. I thought he
Mm.
would probably be a likely red shirt coming off the shoulder. Big receiver, probably wasn't physical enough, all that. I saw enough of Ethan Davis. If he's healthy, he's going to help this team. He's not going to start, but I think he'll help this team at tight end. Those two are probably on each side of the ball. Those two were probably my two biggest surprises, or people who made more noise in the spring than I expected.
So Kamal, if the season started tomorrow, is starting on one side.
I think so. Yeah, I do. I mean, now ask me that June 10th, or June 18th. I mean, who knows? Anything
Man.
can change. I mean, can he stay focused enough and do all the things that he needs to do? We'll see. For 15 spring practices, he was really good. And, right now, if they were playing a game tomorrow, he'd be a starter at corner for sure.
Does that put Warren Burrell at the 4 spot? Like, could he slide all the way down with Gabe Julie Lawley right there, Jordan Matthew? And he didn't enter the portal. Like, he was someone that no one was talking about. I was like, I wonder if Warren Burrell enters the portal. Like, he was someone that I just kind of wondered. I mean, obviously injured and couldn't do much. Like, were you surprised that he ultimately stuck around here?
I was surprised that nobody entered the portal from that position.
Yeah.
That's what jumped out to me the most. I'm like, okay, somebody in the secondary is not coming back, right? I mean, it's kind of inevitable here, and here they all are. And so some interesting puzzle pieces. The question is, what does the puzzle look like? You're asking where Warren Burrell was? Where's Nico Slaughter going to play? Is he going to be the other corner? Do they move him to safety? Does he play nickel? What do they do with the Nico Slaughter? I think when you looked at them at the end of the year, he was clearly one of their best 5. And so it's hard to say he's not going to be one of their best 5 this fall. Just where is that? Is that corner? Is it going to be him and Kamal Hadden? Where does that put the transfer Gabe Judy Lawley? As you mentioned, where does that put Warren Burrell? Where's Jordan Matthews? How does kind of all that shake out? And then you look at him at the safety spot, Jalen McCullough. How married are you to that? I mean, if you're Willie Martinez, I mean, is that, you know what Jalen is? Are you married to that, or are you sitting there going, okay, we've got Wesley Walker, and maybe we want to play Danico at safety, or maybe it's Christian Charles, or maybe it's Jordan Thomas. Then you look at the nickel spot. All right, Tamari McDonald's back. He had a solid year, but is he your best guy there? Could Danico play there? He played there as a freshman and against South Carolina. So they've just got a lot more pieces. You're just not sure what kind of puzzle that's going to be when it's all said and done. And I think that's outside of obviously the offensive tackle position. I think the biggest question mark for this team in fall camp is going to be, what does that puzzle look like in the back end?
Yeah, and I wonder too, because it seems like when the positions are settled come the portal time, that's when the odd man out situation pops up. And I wonder if the situation with the corners was just that, like, they came through spring, they're like, this is completely open for everybody come summertime. So it's like, why dip out now? Because no one's really established that, like, I'm not going to play this fall. Like, it's very much up in the air for so many dudes. I wonder if that's the reason no one ended up in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, when I didn't even mention Brandon Turnage.
Yeah.
He's on this team if he can stay healthy. I think it's a couple things. One, I think exactly what you're saying, Chase. I don't think anybody feels like, hey, that guy's got something on lockdown. Okay, Kamal had a great 15 days. Can he have a great 15 weeks? It's a big question mark. We'll see
Mhm.
what that looks like. Um, where's Slaughter play? Where's your best five? All that question mark, it kind of pops up into there. And then you've got an open competition that everybody feels like they've got a shot. And then I think the other thing too, when you look at the overall number of transfers, the guys who left the program are leaving the program, not a lot of guys are looking to flee. I mean,
Mhm.
I think this is a fun program to be a part of. It's a group of coaches that are personable. I think that they see guys for more than just a number or a nameplate on the back of a jersey. I think they feel like there's a real home feel to it, a family vibe to it. And I'm not sure a lot of guys are just looking to bolt if they think they have a chance to play. Now, if they don't think they've got a chance to play, that's a whole different conversation. But clearly, some of those guys in the back end still feel like they got an opportunity to win a job. That's why nobody left. Which, again, if you're going to ask me back in January, where are they going to have defections at? Where are guys going to enter the portal? Somebody in that secondary is leaving at some point at the end of spring, and we just didn't see it happen, which surprises me.
I thought it'd be a running back, to be honest. I thought one of the running backs would still find their way. Like Jalen had that offseason where it's amazing, just tweets now. You just never know what
Oh
tweets
yeah,
might mean. And
yeah.
then everyone just assumes, oh, he got taken care of. It's like, you don't know that. We don't know what happened here. Everyone just runs wild with any kind of tweet. And then if things get resolved, it's like, oh, clearly that's why it got resolved, or clearly that's why it did not get resolved. I
Well,
don't know, because I just,
remember this
yeah.
about running back. Remember
Mhm,
this about running back. Jabari Small didn't go through spring practice because
mhm,
he had the shoulder. They shut Jalen Wright down in spring practice. Nobody knew what Cam Seldon
mhm.
what he was going to be till they got. I mean, he was in a red jersey halfway through spring practice. He didn't really do anything until the last two scrimmages. And then Deshaun Bishop is, we're like, okay, he's a local guy who's getting a bunch of reps. Okay, he's done a solid job, but I don't think anybody felt threatened for their job or for snaps because of him. And Cam Seldon's still trying to figure out what pass.